Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And today, we're going to be looking at a very unique figure. This is the DC Multiverse Clayface by McFarlane Toys. And if you guys know me, you know exactly how I feel about McFarlane Toys. I'm not a big fan of them. I hardly ever review them on my channel. And they're just not my thing, man. I don't think they look good for the most part. But this one right here really caught my interest. It looks quite nice, to be honest with you. And plus, it's a Batman character that I wanted for a while. But yeah, we'll get a quick look here at the packaging, and we'll get a quick look at the figure itself. Now, getting a quick look at the packaging, it's your standard DC Multiverse packaging. You get the big window here that shows the product. DC Multiverse Clayface. If you're 12 and under, you cannot play with the figure. On the side, you get the DC Multiverse logo again, the name of the character, McFarlane Toys. On the back, a very nice product image of the figure, McFarlane Toys, and all these social platforms you can find them on. A whole bunch of bullshit down here. DC Multiverse on the top. Name of the character on the side. And then it says DC Rebirth, as it is the Clayface from that comic run. On the bottom, you get a whole bunch of bullshit. You do get the barcode right there. So you want to pause that and screenshot that now. You can do so. But enough about this big old packaging. Let's crack this bad boy open. Now, before we get any further with the figure, I do want to say a quick disclaimer. When I was opening this figure yesterday and taking them out the packaging after doing the packaging segment, this figure was being held by these very, very thick twisty ties that they were just all over the figure. So I thought it would be smart to use an X-Acto knife and try to slice them open. But I completely missed the plastic and got my finger, and it got me pretty good. I had to go to the hospital and get stitches. So if you see my finger and you see some stitches and a little bit of gore, if you know you have a weak stomach, I would recommend not watching this video. But I'll try to keep my finger out of this video as much as possible. But yeah, man, this is what I get for talking so much shit about Tom McFarlane. This is how it gets me, by making me cut myself by opening one of his figures. But anyways, a quick look at the accessories. In typical fashion, this figure doesn't come with pretty much nothing. He comes with a trading card that shows the figure, which in my opinion would make sense if the trading card was a picture of the actual comic picture of this character. I don't know if that made any sense. But it's just a picture of the figure, so I don't know why we want promo images for trading cards. It doesn't make any sense to me, but these going in the trash can. And then he also does come with a DC stand, but this one is I don't think it's gonna really help this figure, man. I mean, look how big this figure is and look how small this stand is. So yeah, again, pretty sure it's going in the bin somewhere. But yeah, man, not much more with the accessories, so let's get straight to the figure. Getting a quick look at the figure, it is pretty nice. It's pretty much a solid brown with this very, very nice wash of orange throughout the whole body. Unfortunately, mine, you could see some heavy wash right there and right there. That is a little bit ugly, but this figure is very nicely sculpted, man. Like as much shit as I give McFarlane, he did an absolutely great job sculpting this figure. I really like this figure just straight off the bat. I really do enjoy him quite a bit. There's a few things that I'm not a big fan of, and we'll get to those here in a second. But just getting a quick look at Mr. Clayface here real quick. Look at that. Look at that head sculpt, man. It's only a face a mother can love. It is articulated, and his mouth does open. And you can see those nasty-ass teeth and that big-ass drooping gum right there. But getting the focus a little bit. I really do enjoy that head sculpt. I wish maybe he could have done a little bit something more with the yellow eyes. They kind of fall flat a little bit. But the head sculpt looks really nice. Moving down to the torso, you can see some very nice sculpt throughout here. You can see some faces kind of being made out here and a little skull right there. You get all this very nice texture throughout the body. It does really look like clay. It looks like, you know, like wet. Like clay in a construction site where it just rained. That's really what this reminds me of. Moving down to his legs, you can see that it kind of just forms into a puddle down here at his ankles or his feet. And then moving down to his arms, you get these very nice spikes. What I really do like is the hands right here. I'm gonna get it focused. It kind of looks like, you know, these fingers are connected by this piece of clay right there, which looks pretty dope. And moving down to the back. This is where I really, really enjoy it. Right here for the shoulders, it gets all this very nice spikes and all this very nice texture of like little rocks and you know, dirt and stuff. And then right here in the back, this is where it gets really gnarly. You can see all these little faces being made out, man, which is crazy. You can see some there. You can see one right there, right there. I believe he has one on the shoulder. The elbow right there. And then some stuff that's really, really creepy, man. You get a hand right there, which is insane. And then you get an arm and a hand right there at the elbow. And moving down to the legs, you get some more little skulls right there. They're really hard to make out, but you can see them right there. But yeah, man, look at that attention to detail. Like, the more and more you stare at this figure, the more and more you'll find. But yeah, I'm getting a quick look at his hands again. Look at that. That shit looks crazy. But yeah, man, solid figure. Again, the things that I'm not a big fan of are these big ass pins that stick out right there. And then the joints kind of look a little bit off, in my opinion. I think he could have gone away with just being a pegging into the upper bicep. The lack of no bicep swivel kind of bothers me a little bit. But again, I wouldn't have minded if it didn't have these big ass pins right here. Again, I think he should have done a pin that connects into the socket right here instead of these giant pins that go through the arm. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And then the only other thing that also bothers me are the big ass hinges you can see here at the shoulders and then at the hands, and the lack of no ankle pivot or ankle rockers. It is just a solid piece, which is a little bit understandable. He has a big figure, so he does need a big base to stand on, but I think he could have gone away with having it as a ball joint down here and then, being able to move it. So his bottom legs, lower torso area is a little bit limited on how you can pose them, because again, there's no ankle pivot or ankle articulation there. But other than that, man, solid figure. Yeah, can't really say anything else than what I've already said. Let's get a quick look at articulation, and we'll get some size comparisons. Now getting a quick look at articulation, his head is just on a ball swivel or ball joint that kind of just doesn't really move to the side, doesn't really move to this side, doesn't really look up, doesn't really look down. There's a little bit of shifting, but that's about it. So no head articulation, unfortunately. He does have a hinge at the mouth that opens this much, which is pretty nice. He has ball joints here at the arms, and they do rotate a full 360, but this shoulder pad piece is gonna kind of get in the way. He can hit a very nice, kind of a T-pose, but again, he is a big bulky figure. He does have a single hinge here at the elbow that's pretty tight. Oh, it's pretty tight. So there you go. I got it to move just a little bit. He can not hit 90 at all. It's pretty much just right there, which again, it's a little bit unfortunate, but not too bad. So there we go. For his hand, he does have a hinge, and it does just hinge. Oh man, this figure's very stiff. He does have a hinge in there, and it does swivel and hinge up and down. I need a bowl of this figure, as you can tell. He does have a upper diaphragm cut that can pivot not much to the side, not much. Well, he gets a little bit to the other side. He can crunch a great amount forward, which actually am pretty impressed about that. He can hinge that much back, but then it starts getting gappy. As the rest of the figure, the whole figure is a hard plastic, but the belly area is a little rubber overlay, which is pretty typical of McFarlane, where the crotch area and the stomach area is. It's a rubber overlay, so he can crunch that much back, but it gets gappy. Crunch forward a lot further, so it's pretty good. Again, you get some decent pivoting to the side. And then he does have a ball joint here at the thigh that can shift this much inward, this much out. He can kick a good amount forward, a good amount back. He does have a single hinge on that knee, and I'm gonna have to use my behind the camera force to show you. You can see the hinge is just about there, and it does swivel, so that is nice. And then, unfortunately, no ankle pivot, as I said earlier, or any ankle articulation. But yeah, solid articulation from this big ass bulky figure. Now getting a quick look at some size comparisons. Here we have Clayface next to the only Batman I have in my collection, the Mayfix Hush Batman. Here he is next to the NECA TMNT Turtles in Disguise, Michelangelo. And just to show you how massive he is, I'm going to show him off to some bigger Marvel Legends. To start off, here we have the Marvel Legends retro card thing. And here he is next to the 80th anniversary Hulk and the retro card Kingpin. Here he is next to the deluxe Thanos and the retro card Spider-Man. And last but not least, here we have him next to some of my favorite Marvel Legends in my collection, the 80th anniversary Iron Man and the unparalleled Captain America. And there you have it, a very solid offering from McFarlane Toys. Surprisingly, man, you guys know how I feel about McFarlane Toys. I did do a couple McFarlane toy reviews early on when I first started this YouTube channel, and I kind of overhyped them as, you know, I was just trying to appeal to a bigger mass. But lately I've been more honest, and I really don't like McFarlane Toys that often, man. He does some good figures. He does mostly bad figures, in my opinion, and that is just solely my opinion. Again, you can love him, you can hate him. That is your opinion. But my opinion, I do not like McFarlane Toys for the most part. But this figure is pretty nice. He does have McFarlane qualities to it, like those big ass pins, those big ass hinges, limited articulation. But the sculpt and the aesthetic of this figure is just too good to pass up. I really like this figure a lot, man. He's just a big, imposing figure that's gonna stand out on my, Batman shelf, because I don't have a big DC shelf. But yeah, he's just gonna be very imposing next to that tiny ass Batman that I have. So really solid figure, man. I do recommend it. I believe the price point of this figure is $39.99, and I did find him at my local Target. Actually, not my local Target. I had to go to a couple different Targets in the Houston area, and I think my fourth or third one I found him there. But yeah, man, very solid figure. Do recommend it. It is really fun. And this figure almost took me out, man, as I did have to get stitches again. Don't want to gross anybody out, but I did have to get stitches because of this figure. Because again, he was just such a big figure. He had so many plastic ties holding him down to the package. So yeah, man, this figure is definitely gonna live with me for the rest of my life, as he pretty much messed up my left-handed middle finger. But enough of me rambling on, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The links to all those are in the description down below. And we're really close to getting to 800 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.